What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to some more Little Root Laddering. We are rounding this week off with this Regigigas Whimsicott team that we've been playing all week. Backing it up with Zacian, Spectrier, P2, and Ensign. So, if you haven't checked out the previous episodes this week, make sure you go and do that. And while you're there, make sure you hit that sub button, ring the bell for notifications when new stuff goes live, pound that like button if there's any point during this video that you really enjoyed, and comment down below, looking for rental teams. I'm interested in seeing what people want me to play. So if you have some more rental teams for us, drop those down below. Drop them over in the Discord channel. PM them, DM them to me on Discord, on Twitter, wherever. Just I need some more teams to be able to play. So let's see what we got here for game number 1 today. We got an Yveltal team. Yveltal Stakataka. Interesting. Backing it up with Zapdos, Clef, Torkoal, and Eliki. Alright. I actually think Whimsicott looks really good here because we can Worry Seed away Friend Guard from, if we can just Worry Seed them to death, I actually think we're in a really good position. So what if we do P2 Whimsicott with Zacian and Spectrier? Spectrier looks really good here as well because we can just burn the Yveltal, the Stakataka. I would imagine them probably wanting to set up Trick Room against us, which would not be great. Zacian seems alright here, seeing how we have a Play Rough on it for both the Zapdos and the Yveltal. They don't have Intimidate to lower our attack, so that's also good. Sacred Sword hits the Stakataka really hard, so really just need to watch out for Torkoal and Eliki, but I think we got this. I'm feeling good about this matchup on paper. I know yesterday we played Trick Room, and I was kind of worried about that matchup on paper, and it went fairly well. So let's see if we can do something similar here today. Okay. I'm kind of fine with this lead of Clef, Eliki. Special attack? Dang it. Why do people know, man? Why do people know? I'm just going to try attack into this dude, and I'm kind of okay with Worry Seeding it as well. Getting rid of Friend Guard here on Clef could be really good for us. And once we remove the Clef, then we can start firing off Eerie Impulses into the Eliki, I think is what our goal is right now. I just want to basically stall this game out as long as possible. So we actually could have gone for the Eerie Impulse this turn, but oh well, it's fine. Gonna turn off Friend Guard. I'm sorry, what? Did that Eliki just use Wild Charge? I was not ready for Life Orb Physical Eliki today, but here we are, guys. I just... Oh... I don't know what to do now. I'm gonna go into Zacian here. And I'm gonna set up a Tailwind, I think. I think this is a pretty safe switch into Zacian here. I'm anticipating them to probably just target down the Whimsicott and pick up the KO on it. Gonna withdraw Clef. Gonna bring out Yveltal. Well, I like this on paper. Them not having a Stakataka here for Trick Room things means that this Tailwind's gonna be really good for us. If there's a Wild Charge, going to pick up the KO on the Whimsicott, but that's pretty okay, because now we can bring out P2 And I'm going to probably just Eerie Impulse this. Actually, we can bring out Spectrier. Does Spectrier do anything? No, I think it's safe to bring out P2 here. And just Eerie Impulse down this Yveltal. And pick up the KO on the Eliki this turn. Dang it! I just want a special attack raise. Is that too much to ask? So we'll fire off that Sacred Sword, and we will Eerie Impulse down the Yveltal here. I imagine they don't switch back into Clef, but if they do, that's fine. Nope, so this is pretty easy KO on the Eliki. Question is, does P2 outspeed the Yveltal? We do, actually. That's good for us. And there's a Dark Pulse into P2. And after that -2, it's going to do approximately 0 damage. So I'm pretty okay with this. Who are we bringing out here? They're going to bring out Gyapdos in front of us. I'm pretty okay with this, too. Because I'm going to fire off a... We'll fire off the... Do I like going for Play Rough here? I think so. Question is, what do I do with P2? I think the answer is just stay in and try attack the Gyapdos as well. They're going to withdraw the Yveltal. Going to bring in the Clef. So Friend Guard is going to be active again. They're going to Dynamax the Gyapdos here. This is fine. I actually envisioned this going this way. They might target down the P2. Just because we have showed them Eerie Impulse and they probably want to remove it so they can bring in Yveltal and start doing things with it. But like Zacian is also just a huge threat on its own. As we do, you know, over 50% to the Zapdos. Freeze? Burn! Even better! Okay! Okay, well, they're Lum. That's really unfortunate, but I'm glad we get the Lum out of the way now, because now we can bring in Spectrier, presuming this picks up the KO. It actually doesn't! The Quake does not KO the Zacian, and that's really good for us. Because now what we can do is I'm going to Behemoth Blade down this Clef, and we will go for another Tri-Attack into the Zapdos here. Yep, there's the Follow Me. So Behemoth Blade will pick up the KO on it. And then our Tri-Attack will do pretty okay damage against the Zapdos. It is at +1 special defense now because of the Quake. And presumably is going to go to +2 this turn. But we get to bring in Spectrier here and start doing some pretty decent damage. Nice crit, P2. Unfortunately, not quite enough to pick up the KO. They're going to Knuckle into my Zacian, and that is going to pick up a KO, so that's completely fine. So they have a +1 Zapdos, +1 special defense against a pretty healthy P2 and a Spectrier. They have Yveltal in the back here as well. We still have our Dynamax. They have 1 turn left of theirs. So what's really unfortunate about this is they can fire off Snarls. I think... What do we do here? We could Max Guard stall out their last turn to Dynamax. I think this is probably just going to be Dark Pulse plus... I think the play here is go ahead and Eerie Impulse down the Yveltal. Try to pick up the KO on the Zapdos. Like, worst case scenario, they max guard plus Dark Pulse my Spectrier. But because we're Dynamax, we may be able to take that now. Snarl would be pretty annoying. Okay, they do max guard the Zapdos. There's the Max Phantasm. There is the Snarl. Okay. So this is really annoying. Because it gets the special defense drop, the special attack drop on both of our Mons here. But we get the Eerie Impulse off into the Yveltal now. So they're at -2, we're at -1. But we should be able to pick up the KO now on the Zapdos. I'm actually going to go for the Max Darkness because it's going to drop the Yveltal special defense, and then we can try attack into the Yveltal as well to get pretty decent damage on it. I'm assuming this is probably like policy on the Yveltal. There's a Sucker Punch. Not going to be enough to pick up the KO on the Spectrier though. There's the Max Darkness. Going to be enough to pick up the KO on the Zapdos. So now Spectrier is going to go back to neutral, but the Yveltal's at -1 special defense. This could also just be like 4 attack Assault Vest. I don't think we live another Sucker Punch. But I think if they're Sucker Punching down Spectrier, they're ignoring... I'm going to Max Guard this turn. And we will go for the Tri-Attack. I think this is going to just have to be P2 trying to take out the Yveltal here. It might be correct to Trick Room so that P2 is faster. But I could see them just trying to Sucker Punch us, so I'm actually going to go for the Will-O-Wisp into the Yveltal. Uh-oh. I'm going to have to change controllers after this game. There's a Sucker Punch. We missed the Willow, though. I'm going to recover with P2 this turn. Okay, we connect the Willow this time. So between... I think this game is sealed up because we can just recover stall with P2 now. This is Dark Pulse and the Spectre. Going to be enough to pick up a KO on it. But this is a free recovery into P2. So we're back up to full now. They are burnt. So, like, this is just going to be a war of attrition, and I think we win because we have Recover. Like, we have 4 attacks. We have exactly 4 Tri-Attacks left to win this game, but we also have Recover. And, like, we can also just Eerie Impulse them down. And they're going to take burn damage. I think it's actually correct to just Eerie Impulse them and just, like, stall this game out as long as possible. Oh, they have Oblivion Wing. That's really bad. So, yeah, actually, going for the Eerie Impulse here is good because it's going to reduce the damage that the Oblivion Wing does. So, yeah, this is 4 attack Yveltal, so I'm assuming there's an Assault Vest on it. Them waiting to show us the Oblivion Wing is really good on their part. So we will fire off. Okay, opponent concurs that this game is over. They're not going to be able to recover enough, and we're going to just reduce their damage output as much as possible. So that's going to be game number 1 for us today, and I will take it. I am going to very quickly swap out my controllers. Perks of having multiple sets of these. Alright. So let's get into game number 2 here. Man, P2 pulling its weight there in that last game. You know, I was concerned after the first day when we played with this team. P2 kind of felt out of place, but it's definitely pulled its weight the last couple days in these more grindy matchups and just being able to stall out and prevent damage and reverse Trick Room like it did multiple times yesterday. So really solidified with this team in all actuality. Oh, that's hard Trick Room if I've ever seen it. There's a Politoed, there's a Zapdos. We got Mimikyu and Dialga, mons that I am very familiar with here as of lately. And then rounding out with Escavalier and Snorlax. Well, like all their sweepers here are physical, so Ensign looks really great. I think this is probably Ensign P2 up front, with Spectrier and Zacian in the end game here. I don't think Whimsicott does anything. I don't think Gigas does anything here. I think this is pretty solid. So I'm anticipating probably Dialga plus Mimikyu on the lead. Dialga's probably their special sweeper here on their team. But like Mimikyu, Snorlax, and Escavalier all really don't like seeing Ensign here, having that intimidate. Obviously, Escavalier's pretty terrified of it because of Flare Blitz. We have U-turn, so we can break the disguise on the Mimikyu. I'm anticipating Mimikyu plus Dialga on the lead and just like Trick Rooming with one of them. I could see Trick Room plus Dynamax Dialga and like Steel Spike. But they probably want to preserve their Trick Room, their Dynamax for like Snorlax or Escavalier. Alright, there's Mimikyu, and there's Escavalier on the lead. Interesting. I bet this is probably Protect plus Trick Room. If I was a betting man. Come on, P2. I need a special attack boost once in a while, buddy. So I think our play this turn is to U-turn off the Mimikyu, and I kind of want to try attack the Escavalier here. Because, like, I think... Yeah, they're going to withdraw the Escavalier. That's fine. They're going to bring out Politoed. Mr. Toad. I'm going to set up the rain. They're going to taunt my Ensign. That's fine. So they did not Trick Room, and that's really good for us because we also did not Trick Room. But now we get to preserve Ensign for a little longer. I actually really like bringing out Spectrier here. And I think I just want to start putting on pressure on our opponent and just like go for a Dynamax here. Try attack into the Politoed. Man, that does a ton. Wonder if that's actually enough to pick up a KO on it. They could have Snorlax in the back. I think it's safe to assume they don't. And we can just target down this Politoed again. We can just Dynamax, take out the Mimikyu, and get some more chip in on the Politoed. This should hopefully get Spectre to +1. They are staying in here. So no switch to Snorlax, but I think because they have a Escavalier here, they're not going to have Snorlax. I think is a safe assumption for us. No protect, so that should be a pretty pretty easy KO on the Mimikyu here. There it is. Now Spectre is going to go to +1. Going to drop that defense on the Politoed. Probably won't matter too much here. But more importantly, we're going to get that +1 to our special attack. They're going to go for a Scald. Rain boosted Scald does do a decent chunk, all things considered. And we get the freeze on Politoed. Alright, well that's no longer an issue. That should trigger Citrus, I'm assuming. Yep. So yeah, Politoed we can just ignore for a while now. We could see Escavalier come in. We could see Dialga. I think if it's Dialga, we just fire off Eerie Impulse here. Yep, there's the Dialga. So I think this turn, I like protecting plus Eerie Impulse the Dialga. And hope they commit their Dynamax this turn. The reason I want to protect this turn instead of just firing off into the Politoed, I have a feeling they're going to target down my Spectrier, and so I can pick up the KO on the Politoed, but I really just want to prevent as much damage as possible coming out from this Dialga. So firing off this Eerie Impulse into it is just going to basically neuter it as much as possible. Looks like they're just going to set up a Trick Room here, though, and that's completely fine by me. Yep, now Dialga's at -2 special attack. We can switch into Ensign here. And we can fire off a Phantasm into the Escavalier. Probably going to be their Dynamax target. We could also Trick Room here. I actually like that. I like reversing Trick Room in hopes that we live this turn with Spectre, and then we can fire off a Will-O-Wisp into the Escavalier after they commit their Dynamax. Nope, they're just going to go for the knockoff into P2. -2 Flash Cannon and Spectre, not going to do a ton. Max Phantasm, almost enough to pick up the KO on the Escavalier. And there's the Trick Room. P2, you have just pulled your weight today, buddy. You've just done so much for us. We could Snarl. We could fire off a Will-O-Wisp. We could also just Shadow Ball the Escavalier. Pick up a KO on it. They also could protect and set up another Trick Room. This is the last turn of Rain. I think I like going into Ensign here. And we can try attack into the Escavalier. This is going to put the Escavalier at -1. Dialga's still at -2, -1 defense. But they can set up another Trick Room, and I don't think we really care. They're going to withdraw the Dialga. Going to bring back out Politoed. That's also fine. No protect. We get the Para. P2. You are a mad lad. Gonna knock off our Assault Vest on Ensign, but that's kind of fine. The rain is over. That's a good thing that we have going for us now. I think it's correct to just Flare Blitz the Escavalier, and we can try attack down the Politoed now. Oh, we knew they had Scald. I knew that's how that worked. But it's not enough to pick up the KO on the Ensign. Flare Blitz is going to be enough to pick up the KO on the Escavalier. I'm assuming that's where their Assault Vest is. And try attack. Para. Burn. Alright, that's fine. That's completely fine. Because now, what we can do is we can go into... Actually, do we need to? I'm kind of fine losing Ensign at this point. Like, I'm kind of fine with that. We can just Flare Blitz into Dialga and Eerie Impulse into it as well. Just try to shut down as much damage on it as possible. Notably, the Politoed is faster than Ensign, but I don't think that's actually going to make a difference here. Like, if they try to set up a Trick Room, we can reverse Trick Room. If they pick up the KO on the Ensign and Trick Room's not up, we can bring in Spectrier into Snarl. Yeah, I'm kind of fine with everything we have going on here. P2 is just sit in front of these teams and just kind of negated everything they have going on. There's a Steel Spike, presumably into P2. But we hold on, P2, you mad lad! Please target down my Incineroar. You did! Now we get our Eerie Impulse off. Oh, this is fantastic. P2, you absolute mad lad. Now we can bring in Spectrier. We can just snarl him to death. And I'm going to click recover, but I'm pretty sure we're going to lose P2 this turn. Like, if they just target that slot down, then we lose P2. But they might also just be like, hey, Spectrier, that's scary. It's a horse. And target it down instead. And then we get a free recover. And then they have one turn of their Dynamax left with Dialga. We have a Zacian in the back. They're going to protect Politoed. This is completely fine. Come on. Okay, we connect with the Dialga, so now it is at -3. And there's the Quake. Into P2. Alright. My little dude, little Cyberduck, you have done everything you can for us. You have pulled your weight and then some today. Take a rest, buddy. You deserve it. Now we have a Doggo. And I think our play this turn, I'm just going to click Snarl and I'm going to Protect. I want to stall out their last turn of Dynamax here. If they target down my Spectre, we hopefully can live with them being at -4 on the Dialga. If I was them, I would see, hey, big scary Doggo, I need to Quake into that slot. Hey, big scary Doggo, let's Quake into that slot. Man, it feels good to call something once in a while. Now, Politoed's also at -1 special attack. They're at +2 special defense, +1 defense. Oh, opponent. I don't think that's gonna matter. You can Perish Song all you want. I don't plan on playing another 3 turns here. Politoed's going to protect this turn, so I'm just going to double into this Dialga and pick up the KO on it. We've seen Trick Room, we've seen Flash Cannon, we've seen Quake, which presumably is... Actually, what ground move does Dialga get? Now, I know I've said I've played a lot with Dialga, but... let's just solidify confirmation here. That's Earth Power. Okay. No protects all around. Sacred Sword, not quite enough to pick up a KO. There's the weakness policy, as we anticipated. That's fine, because now the Shadow Ball should be enough to pick up the KO. They are a +2 special defense. Alright, cool. So now they have a Politoed. versus a +1 Spectre, a +1 Zacian. I think if they get the double protect, we lose. The burn's definitely a good starting point for them. I think they need double protect to win this game. We've already seen the berry on the Politoed. I'm going to Sacred Sword because it ignores the +1 defense on the Politoed. If this game comes down to them getting the double protect, I'm going to feel pretty bad. But it's alright. Like, I think that's their only play is they have to go for the double, and you know, one third of the time they win this game. Show it to me, opponent. Who wins? Dang it. Dang it, dang it, dang it. GG's, opponent. Really, really close game there. So how could we have done this differently? How could we have put ourselves into a position where it doesn't come down to Perish Song? We could have targeted down the P2, the Politoed sooner. But, like, I don't think the Politoed was actually an issue until exactly this endgame. Let's see. I honestly think we played this game really, really well, and they just happened to get the protects on the double protect here at the end game. Like I said, 1/3 of the time they win that game, but you know, the other 2/3 we win it. So I don't think it's something that that we did necessarily wrong. Yeah, Lum Snorlax, AV on the Escavalier, not surprised by that. Scald Personal Protect Helping Hand, saw all that. Roar of Time, interesting. Mental Herb on the Mimikyu, not surprised by that as well. Pretty standard sets so far from our opponent. Life Orb, Zapdos, yep. Pretty solid team. I actually really like their team. And like I said, you know, one third of the time they win that game. And that's exactly what they did. They hit their 33% and won. So, you know, nothing we can really do about that, but I would be interested in like analyzing that game and just seeing exactly what we could have done to improve our chances. So let's see. They have Ice Rider, Clef, Torkoal, Venu, Mimikyu again. Not a mon we have seen a lot in this format, but here it is twice today. And Rotom Wash. I like Zacian. I like Incin. I like Spectre. I like P2. Whimsicott is fine if they're leading on like Clef to shut off Friend Guard, but like they still just follow me plus Trick Room. So I think our actual lead here is probably just like Zacian P2. Is Zacian faster than Spectre? I believe so, right? No. Okay. I was going to say we could just Behemoth Blade plus Will-O-Wisp on turn 1, but unfortunately that's not going to quite work out for us. Incin, Spectre in the back. I think I like this. We can pick up the KO on the Clef here in the early game. They're going to get Trick Room up, but we can also just reverse Trick Room. Like if they just go for Clef and Ice Rider here in like on the lead, or Clef and Mimikyu. Yeah, this is going to be Follow Me Trick Room, I imagine. So our play then, I think we also click Trick Room. What if this is like, I think it's pretty easy just to assume they're going to Trick Room and also Trick Room ourselves. But like if they big brain us and like Follow Me plus attack, like if this is Follow Me plus like Phantom Force. Yep, Zacian's gonna take out the Clef. Mimikyu should move next. Like, even if we are both going for Trick Room, Mimikyu is going to be faster than P2. Oh no! No! We called it wrong! That's not great for us, actually. Guys, I finally did it. We finally messed up. And now having Zacian burnt actually means that, like, we put no pressure on the Ice Rider when it switches in here. Oh, it's actually Torkoal. I'm actually pretty okay with Torkoal. Like, we can protect plus Eerie Impulse to Torkoal this turn. Like, now that Zacian's burnt, it's kind of just... It feels like dead weight, in a sense. It's like, it's just going to be stalling out turns as much as possible here. There's a Heat Wave. And it misses P2. There's our Eerie Impulse. And they're going to play rough into P2. That's fine. I have a feeling that Torkoal is going to switch out this turn. So I'm actually going to go for a Behemoth Blade into that slot, anticipating the Ice Rider to come in. And we will click Trick Room this turn. I think with the Torkoal being at -2, it's very likely that they don't want to stay in here. They're going to withdraw the Mimikyu, actually. Interesting. So we call this kind of right, just not the right switch like I anticipated. There's the Eruption. That might take out Zacian. It actually doesn't because they're at -2. Such a good doggo. Such a good boy. And man, even being burnt, that still does a non-zero amount. Alright. So now Zacian's back to being the fastest thing on the field. I feel pretty okay going for the Behemoth Blade into this dork. And try attacking the Torkoal. Calyrex protects, that's fine. So I'm just Heat Wave or Eruption, trying to clean up the Zacian here. Yep, there's the Heat Wave, that should be enough to take out Zacian. It is. P2 holds on, and that's fine. Because now we can bring out Ensign. Do I want to bring out Ensign? I could bring out Spectre and just put on a ton of pressure against the, I actually like that. Let's bring out the Spectre here. And let's just go for that, Max Phantasm into Calyrex. If they switch into Mimikyu, they lose their Mimikyu. And then I'm going to go for Recover on P2 this turn. Preserving P2 as long as possible is great. There's the withdrawal on the Torkoal finally. Bringing out Mimikyu, which still does have its disguise intact. Unfortunately, P2 is not able to actually bust that. So that is slightly problematic because that means we're spending a turn of Dynamax to do 15% to Mimikyu. Question is, does Ice Rider also Dynamax? They do. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. That means Trick Room's not going up this turn. But this does mean we're going to do a ton of damage to the Calyrex. Do about 50%. Please don't show me weakness policy. Please don't show me weakness policy. No! I specifically asked. Man, now we're gonna lose this game, aren't we? We should have just gone for the Willow and prevented this and... Because now we lose our Spectrier. They go to +3. We bring in Ensign. They go to +2. Man, should have just gone for the Will-O-Wisp. That's rough. I kind of did not anticipate them Dynamaxing there, but like, what else were they going to do? So yeah, now we bring out Ensign. Oh. So we can go for the Flare Blitz, but I don't think it's going to be enough to pick up a KO. What's the chances that they click Trick Room this turn? Non-zero. Do I want to Big Brain it? Big Braining it has literally never paid off for me. I think the correct answer is just attack the Calyrex. Dang it! Show me the Trick Room. Dang it. Come on, man. Could have seen it coming a mile away. I read it and I went, no, that's not right. Man. Sometimes my genius, it is just too much. I'm pretty sure we've lost this game because we let Trick Room go back up. There was a lot of things we did wrong in this game. The first one being not going for Will-O-Wisp. The second one being let Trick Room go up. And like the fact that they were on back-to-back turns means that like it just does not matter what we did. I don't think there's a way to get back in this game. Now that the Calyrex is back to +3, they're at +1 special defense. Like, I think the Max Guard plus Trick Room was super obvious this last turn, and I just played into it anyway. We should have just gone for the Darkest Lariat plus Trick Room, broke the disguise on the Mimikyu. Yeah, I don't see a way we win this game now. Like, their Dynamax is over, but unfortunately P2 also literally can't touch Mimikyu, so we don't have a way of winning this game at this point. Oh man, such a bad way to lose a game. And like I can pinpoint the exact moment I lost this game. That's the worst part. Like, had we just gone for the Will-O-Wisp, I think we win this game, 70% of the time or whatever Will-O-Wisp accuracy is. And at that point, like, we stall out their Dynamax, we Dynamax ourselves, and we just like snowball from there. But man, just that was rough. That was a rough one to end the day on, but it just shows you how things can quickly snowball if you just misplay. And that's literally what happened. Is I let one thing lead to another, and I miscalled 2 turns in a row, and we just lost the game because of it. So once again, thank you to Chris for sending this team in. This team was a lot better than I anticipated after playing it on day one. After the day one, I felt like this team was pretty lacking in the Dynamax pressure, and like I still feel that way. I think Spectre is good, but I think what I would do is I think I would put Focus Sash on the Spectre. I would put probably Mental Herb on Whimsicott. If I was a betting man, I think that's probably the next best item because it lets you still do your thing through Taunt. Ensign, Assault Vest Ensign was very good for us. I could see dropping Darkest Lariat for Taunt and switching Assault Vest to like a Pinch Berry, and I think that will really help us as well against Trick Room because I think the Trick Room matchups are very, very rough. And it really comes down to P2 and just calling every turn correct. Like being able to just identify when you need to click Trick Room as well to prevent it from going up, or being able to identify that, hey, this turn I need to be able to do this and prevent Trick Room. You know, like I need to negate Trick Room from going, like continuing by reversing it this turn, and I have to play in such a way to do so. Not having Protect on Spectre was kind of awkward at a couple different points, but at the same time, like, most of the time, it was our backup Dynamax target when Gigas wasn't good. The Bulldoze on Spectrier felt really awkward basically every time. I think if we wanted the ground coverage, we get access to Mudshot, I believe. Yeah, we have access to Mudshot, which, I mean, is not great, but it's also a special attack. So, in comparison, is going to do drastically more damage than what Bulldoze is going to. And like, we don't have Policy on our team, so we're not trying to trigger Policy with the Bulldoze anywhere. But honestly, this team was really fun. I did enjoy it. I got to finally play some Gigas. I know we've played it in the past, but this is the different iteration of it. Being able to show Gigas isn't always reliant on exactly Weezing was good. Worry Seed actually played a couple different roles in the last couple days. Today we got to take away Friend Guard from Clefairy, which then forced him to switch out, which then just gave us another version of getting Friend Guard off the field. And then when they switched in, we just completely removed it in the first game today. So that's gonna be it, everyone. Thank you for sticking around through my rambling here at the end. Make sure, if you haven't already, subscribe, ring the bell, comment down below, and pound that like button. Those things really do help us. It helps us grow and gets our videos out to new people. So that's going to be it, everyone. Have a fantastic day. We'll be back for next week with some more Little Root Laddering. Have a good one, everyone. Peace.